folks. This is episode number 20. Thank you and welcome back to the Tommy Williams Show. This evening, I have a really good one for you. I know I say that every week, but this one, I really and truly mean it, as well as in the past. So figure that riddle out. In the meanwhile, I want to introduce my first guest. His name is Anthony Pearson. He's the owner of ACP Consulting LLC, and he is also a graduate of my wife's alma mater there at Hampton Institute. So that's dating himself, but I'll tell you, he looks young and he has a full set of teeth right there and a bright smile. So welcome aboard, Anthony, to the show.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome. So Anthony, why don't you go ahead? I tried my best to introduce you, but I know there's probably oodles of stuff that you do on top of what I've said, and I hope I gave you some justice along the way. So please introduce yourself to the viewers, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anthony Pearson, but everyone calls me Tony Pearson. I am a native of Atlantic City, New Jersey, born and raised, proud of Atlantic Cityan. Went to Hampton University, like Tommy had announced. Started at Hampton Institute and then went to Hampton University. Was a degree in accounting, and made that, as years went on, made that transition from the north down to the south. So I am residing now in Tampa, Florida, where it reminds me of home, being close to the beaches. So I love the area, love Florida weather, and get away from the snow. Never want to do the snow ever again in life. So enjoying the southern hospitality of life down in South Florida, in the state of Florida. So my business, we are actually a Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains partner. Been in the business for more than 20 years now. It has been a fabulous journey. Myself and two of my other partners, we transitioned, all of us were accountants and transitioned from accounting to accounting systems, or what they call ERP, and was enterprise resource planning. And it's been a ride. It's been a beautiful ride, because as an accountant, you're doing the mundane things, month end closes, year end closes, auditors. But when you get into the technology side of it, it broadens your horizon, because it makes you more well-rounded. And also too, it gives people more respect for you, because they not only think you're not an IT person, but when you sit down and start talking debits and credits with them, it's like, whoa, this guy knows accounting as well. So it's a good, a good refreshing thing, that people respect you in the industry once they realize that you are that type of person that knows accounting and knows the knows the accounting system. So it's been a pleasure.
Sure, that sounds fantastic. So what are some typical things that you would be servicing? Who would you service? Who's in general?
We basically service from utility industry, financial industry, service, hospitality, higher education. One of our niches have been between the utility industry and also in the higher education industry, or what they call vertical. Those markets, easy. A lot of small universities, especially the small universities who have small budgets, we work with them a lot to make sure that they are getting their financial reporting out properly, doing that, especially some of them are done with federal loans and grants that they supply to the students or offer to the students. So we're trying to make sure that they get all that kind of financial reporting to the federal government, and make also, as well as what they call their regulatory reporting towards what's called SACs, getting that type of reporting out to them, so they can so they can keep their certification, or can continue to be an accredited college or university. So it's been a great ride helping those colleges and universities in that area.
So along with working with their numbers, do you also help them seek out agencies that might be able to accommodate them best?
Yes, we do. Yeah, actually we do. When it comes to, I give you a case in point, when it came to the couple of small universities have enrollment maybe under 800, they're looking to reach out to help them with getting the PPP money that was out there that was available for them. A lot of them did not know because they didn't have, you have a lot of small universities that they don't have strong accountants to help them or understand. So we're there to support them in that aspect, find out information for loans, and a couple were able to where they were able to get the monies that they needed for actually getting into the federal side of it. The federal government is giving a lot of money to the universities for the students and helping them, especially a lot of the students who have actually paid room and board. And that money that they're paid for room and board, I mean, during this pandemic, they don't have jobs. Jobs were sporadic. So the federal government had reached back to the universities and provided those students. I'll be honest, I can tell you one school, they were cutting checks in sessions. One bunch of checks were like $4,000 students were getting. Then another set of checks that the students were getting was another $3,000 to $4,000, and it was helping the students.
That's helpful, sure.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
That's fantastic. Now, with your team that services the folks, is it departmentalized, or everybody pretty much has the same skill set, or do you all lean on each other for different things?
We lean on each other, but I have my different departments. I have actual support group. I have my support team that handles tier 1, tier 2 things. We have our consultants. Myself, I still roll my sleeve and get into it as well. I have my developers. So I have like 4 developers as well as part on my team. So we get into where one of them he's very high rated because he's one of our developers that knows what is called language called dexterity that Microsoft Great Plains is written on. And it's very rare that you find that kind of technical resource. So I hold on to him with dear life because he knows that part of the application very well, the backbone of things. So it's real good, refreshing. And we built, again, we started as accountants and just expanded into the technology world. So it's just been a good ride, real nice ride. So.
Well, you already tapped into one of my other questions was how are you making out through the pandemic in terms of are you growing, are you flourishing, are things digressing, or what direction are you all been going in? I know you said education-wise, there's a lot of things out there. I'm sure you're educating a lot of these small institutions and and the other folks that you're servicing. Because of all the different programs that are out there through the government and things. So they need somebody to interpret that information. So I would imagine things are picking up on that end. But how is overall, how are things moving in your
overall, when COVID really first started, it kind of did that little slow down because everyone was kind of, I say, freaking out about, we're gonna lose jobs. We're not going to be able to have the service, especially the customers that in the service industry who are doing manufacturing work. They were the hardest hit. So from that perspective, in that industry there, we were, little lull there. But as far as the higher ed, and far as and the utilities authorities, the utilities never stop because again, at the end of the day, you still need electric, you still need water, you still need your garbage picked up. So that was kind of our savior, and tapped into that vertical some years ago now. Actually, we tapped into part of that vertical into the Canadian market. So Canada was okay, open arms initially, but then when the pandemic in the United States took off the way it did, it was kind of like we're closing our borders. But but at the end of the day, it's technology, Tommy. And here's the thing, the beauty of it. You can do things remotely. You can do things remotely.
Wow.
Everything is now, as long as you have somebody in-house on staff at that organization that they just get you the VPN access. At times it's stagnant because of the fact that some individuals, and we ran into a couple of times where individuals did develop COVID. And so it was one of those things where they had COVID, you couldn't do no work. You just had to wait for the next person, or that person get well again, or their team get. I mean, really, is one place it is one of those things where 5 people got sick, another 5 got sick. It just kept like that. That train kept rolling of folks getting sick, and it was like spreading. And so they actually shut down their office for actually 2 locations. They shut them down for at least 60 days. So, but again, the beauty of it, I mean, for us, unfortunately, for the individual got an illness like that, the work is remote. So, so it's not that bad. It's not that hard. It wasn't that painstaking for us.
Yeah. Which brings us to today. And now, folks are getting vaccinated, local governments and the federal government, everybody's starting to uplift raise the drawbridge and say, okay, well, let's go ahead and get back to the business at hand. How do you feel about the vaccine? Have you gone out and gotten it, Tony?
Oh yeah, I went and got mine. Soon as I was one of the ones, as soon as they said either Moderna or Pfizer, and I'm glad I didn't go think about Johnson & Johnson. But as soon as Moderna said, hey, Florida, come on, I took off running. So I was excited.
Sure.
I was excited.
And I'm with you. I think we were right behind you, Tony. You're right in your shadow, man. But sure. So now I noticed that schools are opening up. A lot of the local superintendents and things are sending students back to school for the 2021-22 school year. How are things in your local area in Tampa? Are they opening up? And kids back in school for the most part?
Our kids have been, I'll be honest with you, I live right around the corner from a high school, Spoto High School. These kids have been in school, honestly. They've been either part-time at the school or either virtual. Because in Hillsborough County, they was offering either or, because more or less it was the affordability of who can afford computers, really laptops at home to do the virtual work. But they still, I mean, honestly, Hillsborough County and Hillsborough, Pinellas, they were pretty much open. Wasn't a lot of true. I won't say it was a lot of restraint or put any kind of thing closure on the schools or anything like that. So it was like I said, because I live right around the corner from one of the schools, and when I ride by there, the schools are in session. I mean, you saw it.
Now I myself, I just like yourself. I'm a transplant from Jersey, and I know that what's going on here and the attractions, and also I think about Orlando with Disney and things. Do they have attractions, local attractions in your area that have kind of slowed down and impeded progress and the influx of monies coming in and things like that? Do you think that the budget in your area has kind of depleted because of what's taking place?
I want to say yeah, because actually the
tourist attractions.
I think the school board went once, and just right now they just announced that the school board actually is cutting 1,000 jobs or reassigning because they're in a big deficit. But be honest with you, Busch Gardens is here in Tampa.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought they had some attractions.
And so Busch Gardens, I said when they had the restrictions where they could only be open till 7:00. That's off again now. So they're back wide open, full blown. The water park, they closed down the water park, which is Adventure Island. That was that's right across the street from Busch Gardens. They were totally closed. Now they were closed. And I think because of the way the pandemic is happening, where water, they didn't want that kind of water, I guess what water does with the bacteria and everything. So in that scenario, they basically shut down Adventure Island, but they had Busch Gardens on a kind of a limited time. And really initially it was only on the weekends till about 7. Then they gradually started opening back up till maybe during the weekday till about 5. But now they're back full blown, wide
Yeah.
open.
Right on time for the summer, huh?
Yeah,
And so, well, we'll see what happens with the vaccine and things. It seems like people are out there and I've noticed that people are moving around with a lot more confidence. I even see some masks beginning to sag down and fall beneath their noses of individuals that I don't think it's time really that we can let up. We can't afford to do that. I know that this vaccination, it's they've gone and done their homework, but nothing's proven and given an amount of time that we can really gauge the reactions and what's going to happen in 2-3 years from now. But I think we're on the right stride. I think we're on the right foot right now.
I'm wearing my mask. So I got masks everywhere.
Good.
So that I as you know, the famous Ybor city here in the Tampa Bay area, even Ybor slowed down, but now it's back open again. But they're being very, very strict. I mean, they actually have the inspectors are walking through Ybor on a regular basis.
I bet.
But the area called Soho, that's out there by the University of Tampa area. Oh, that's college students and young college students. They just wild out there. I'm like, I don't even go in that direction, but they're all on TV. And so I'm one that I'm following the CDC guidelines.
Sure. Now, did you contract COVID at all, or have you been fortunate?
Actually, I did. It's funny you say that. I did. I have a story for you. My wife, she works for a health agency. One of the coworkers came to work sick, coughing in the office. My wife gets sick. She comes home. Me and her quarantine from each other because she said she wasn't feeling well. But we just moved my mother-in-law from Virginia here to Florida. Well, she was at her mother's home, got her mother sick. Her mother passed out, from dehydration, fell, broke her hip. We had to have surgery, but she was dealing with COVID. And then eventually, from the time when I was being around and trying to be the caretaker, I contracted. So it was interesting for about a good 3 weeks here. Everyone's quarantined off. Luckily my mother-in-law, she was in the hospital, and then they moved her to a care center where she could be cared for and everything during her time when she was rehabbing from a hip surgery. But I'm gonna tell you one thing that saved us, and I will be a spokesperson for it, and it's a free advertisement for them. Pedialyte. Pedialyte and zinc was my savior. I drank a lot. I mean, the minute I started drinking Pedialyte and taking zinc, it was like the energy just started coming back. I just started feeling, because before when it first hit me, all I wanted to do was sleep. The whole time I just was fatigued. I mean, just.
That was me. Fatigued. I wish I knew about that.
Yeah. For some strange reason, I went to the doctor. Wasn't supposed to go to Publix, but my wife was like, "We need some soup." I can't. She wasn't feeling well. I double masked up, went to the Publix, and I asked the young lady. I said, "What is?" I said, "Well, get some Gatorade. That's what I was gonna get." And she said, "No, what you need," she said, "try some Pedialyte." And they had it on sale at the Publix, which was funny. They had it on sale at the Publix. I grabbed like 4 bottles because they had buy one, get one. So I grabbed 4 bottles. That next day, 2 days later, started feeling that tiredness started slowly going away. I went back around there again, got 4 more bottles. I'm serious.
Brought them out.
I went back around there. I brought 6 bottles next time because I said, "Honey, you need to start drinking this." Yeah. And the next thing you know, it's just like between that, the zinc and the echinacea, and the Edaberry, that was, really what brought me back.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So Tony, listen. So I want to get the people some information for you so that they can reach out. And how can people reach you? Social media.
On
like
social media, typically
or do you have a website or?
we're getting our website revamped. Actually, that was one thing during COVID. I couldn't get my webmaster. He got sick. The person that was doing my website, he got sick. So he's on backlog trying to get people's website revised and everything, and doing revisions. How you can reach me is through our email at alpconsultingllc@yahoo.com. And I'm on Facebook as Tony Pearson.
Okay, fantastic. Superman. Well, I'm
As
glad
well
you
as
came on.
As well as LinkedIn as well, as Anthony
As well.
Pearson.
Okay, Anthony. Okay. Yeah, I didn't want you to take offense when I said Anthony. So good. So you do have Anthony on this.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Tommy, my mother named me Anthony, but everybody calls me Tony.
Yeah. So my dad's from Atlantic City as well, man. Adriatic Avenue, Baltic Avenue, all those.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and my uncle, actually, my great uncle, played for the Atlantic City Seagulls.
Oh, get out of here, for real.
Arthur Dorrington. He was the first Black NHL player with the Farm League, the Atlantic City Seagulls.
Okay.
Yeah, man, extra special guest right here. And it certainly is nice to see you. It's refreshing to see. It's been a long time since I've seen you, man. You know, it's wow. Jeez, when was that? Neither we going to the Bahamas.
6 years now.
In about 6 years?
It's about 6 years now, yeah.
About 6 years. All right.
Yeah,
well, thank you so much.
Yeah, wow. Time flies by.
And we'll make sure it doesn't fly any further without us staying in touch. It certainly is a pleasure having you on.
Likewise.
And thanks for all the information. If you have to, if I could ask you to give a takeaway for the people for getting through this, keeping mental health together. We had a mental health specialist on last week. You seem like you have things together, man, and I'm very glad for you and family that you made it through COVID. You know, it certainly is one of those experiences that you'll never forget. You know, because with the lack of information, I don't know, what month was it that you had contracted COVID, Tony?
Middle of January.
Yeah. Okay. This past January. So I mean, at that point, there was still a lot of fog in the air and concerning, what direction can you make it through, and also the numbers were still spiked up. So that was a very, very gray area, very gloomy time. But you seem very optimistic, man, and moving forward in pursuit of your dreams. And what could you tell those people who are out there still trying to push through to keep their heads up? What could you tell them?
I'll be honest with you, God first.
All right.
With God first, everything else falls into place. I'll be honest with you, I did a lot of praying, especially the situation with my mother-in-law, older, falling, breaking a hip the way situation. So I think we had a lot of prayer to get us through.
Yes. Sure enough, man. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man. It's great having you.
Thank you.
God bless you and your family, man. We'll stay in touch, Tony.
You too now. God bless you and your family as well. Y'all be safe.
Okay. Now. Thanks, Dan. Take care. So I have Saxman Dan, Danny Rock, D-Rock back on with me tonight. And as you know, folks, he's my guru for the musicians and the talent and things. My wife, she does a whole lot behind the scenes as well. Wife Renita, she's great at bringing on many of the guests, if not all of the guests that come on, actually go through her gathering. And she only picks the best berries. So folks, I certainly do appreciate you watching, and I hope that you find this as tantalizing as I do, because this is a fantastic side of the lens to be on right here, meeting these fantastic people. And we're just ready to introduce our second guest of episode number 20. He goes by the name of Dr. Dj Emanuel. And I'm going to have Dr. Dj Emanuel, and my co-host for this show today is Danny Rock Mulowitz, D-Rock, and he'll be explaining a little bit more about Dr. Dj Emanuel as well. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Big round of applause, everybody.
Yeah, Dr. Dj Emanuel just got the link only about 15 seconds ago. So he's trying his fastest and his hardest to get on here ASAP. And he is a great guy. He is from New York, from Roslyn, New York, also around Queens and Long Island. He is cool as anything. I can't wait till he comes on. That's Dr. DJ Emmanuel.
Right.
And he should be on here any second. Let me see his status. Nothing yet. But I'm really looking forward to having him. This is going to be great. He does some very big parties. He does parties. I mean, I've seen him with 1,000 people, but I don't know. Maybe he usually plays for bigger audiences. I don't know. But to me, 1,000 is a lot of people. That's a big wedding. 1,000 people.
Certainly
Wouldn't you
is.
say so?
Sure. If you think about per plate, that's a heck of a number.
It's a big
You know, I hate
old
to be
number.
the father
So,
of that bride.
yeah, the father of that bride, if he's paying 100 a plate, right? What's that equal to? 100,000? I think we got him on. Look at this.
I'd send
Well,
them
he-
around twice for those envelopes.
Okay, he says he's in. Okay, I see some action going on.
I'm here.
All right. Dr. DJ Emanuel. We were just
I
talking.
am here. Hello.
Yes, all you have to do is start your video, Dr. DJ.
Ooh, let me try that.
So I like the productions that Dr. DJ puts on. That's what strikes me about him. He puts on big productions, and it's amazing. It's amazing when you see what he does, because he doesn't just have a DJ. He has a violinist. He has me on sax.
You guys see me on video?
Here he goes. He has a
Yes, how
percussionist.
are
Yes,
you?
I see you.
Oh, I don't see you guys.
And he puts this huge system in the room like you've never seen, with lighting galore. So here he is down there. Do you want to aim your camera down a little bit? Because we're just
I
seeing
don't
your
even see
head.
myself.
There
There's
you
something
go.
thing with my connection. I don't see you guys, but it's all good. Hi, everyone.
There you go. Hi.
Is it? That's kind of awkward. Is there any way to get work on that there? Victor?
I could switch. If you guys give me 2 minutes, I could switch computers. I might be it.
Yeah. Yeah, because we want you to be
Okay,
comfortable, man.
2 minutes.
Who
All
he
right,
is.
Dr. DJ Emanuel, I already know a lot about him. We're friends and we work together in the business. But I'm going to ask him some things that I'm sure the audience wants to know. And I never even asked him this. Like, I know he comes from a family of musicians. Mainly his dad was very, very popular in the country of Iran. And he sings Farsi music. And he speaks the language and travels a lot. I'm sure he traveled all over the place. I want to know, what is it like growing up with an entertainer / musician father? Can you tell everybody about that? What it was like for you as a child, maybe?
A lot of pressure and a lot of critiques and a lot of I would say I guess a rep I needed to meet up, get to. And he was my biggest critic. I mean, I guess he wanted me to be as perfect as he is. And that's what it was. I actually had to work a few years, with him until he would really let me get live in front of people. So it was more like that. So he kind of shaped me. And then I took it to the next level because I'm also a musician and I play live music, and I know Dan does. And growing up, I mean, it was like a lot of people when they came. My dad went from Iran, went to Israel, came to the United States, started an international band in the United States. I think one of the first ones that were here.
Emmanuel, what instrument do you play?
I'm a percussionist.
Okay.
So anything that has to do with drums, anything. And I studied that in college too. I mean, everything. We had to learn xylophone. We had to learn, cymbals, marching bands, everything.
Yeah, I've had some guests on from different countries, Puerto Rico and Cuba, and they were talking about the different drums there. Do you have percussions indigenous to your country?
There's actually a drum called it's tombak. The Arabic is dumbek. It's very similar, okay, except it has a different sound, and it's also, you got to really you gotta tune it. It's very different. It doesn't have like knobs. It actually has like a ropes or a string. I don't know. I don't have one specifically Persian one with me, but I have the Arabic style one that a lot of people use. And Dan knows. This
Probably a
is something that,
darbuka.
I
has,
never learned, but I picked up. I just picked up one day, which is
Yep,
this.
that's a darbuka. I have the same one. He always
Okay.
has a darbuka musician at his weddings playing that particular drum.
Yeah, that makes it another situation where the live people that we actually work with. I mean, Dan, I don't want to go into your other question, but just real fast. The live people that we work with, I know if they're really doing what they're supposed to because I'm a musician too. So it's like I'm always adjusting them or changing their style or doing whatever I need that I think is good. And musicians don't like when people change their style, but it's that's what we need to do for entertainment.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Yes,
Can you
sir.
fit your PA system in that car with the wings? Remember that car you had? It was a Beamer and it had the wings going up. Can you fit your whole system in there? Or is that only like when you go special places?
No, I definitely I cannot. No, definitely. Dan is referring to a toy that I bought myself after working so hard for many, many years. And I said, you know what? It's just part of the personality of being a DJ and being, in that type of life. And it was more of like an accomplishment buy rather than I would say, like, I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh boy.
One.
Yeah.
Hey.
So it was like and you can see my
Hey,
logo.
hey, look at the shirt. Yeah, I see the shirt.
Yeah, it was it was like an
DJ.
accomplishment buy. It wasn't more like a show off buy. It was more that, I was so happy of the progress of something that I didn't even go to school for. It was just a talent that I played around with when I was younger. And I didn't think I would make money off of it. I did it a little bit. I did a little bit more. And then I was realizing people were spending so much money with others that were, just mixing music or DJing. I don't call what we do DJing. I call it more like you're painting a picture of the party. So you're an artist, you're an entertainer, an artist. You got to know what to play, when to play it, how to play it. And I was thinking today, which I wanted to tell Dan, all these celebrities that became DJs, I mean, I don't know.
Paris Hilton.
And do you think they're I don't know if they're DJ. I mean, I would love to challenge them and put them at one party that we have and see if they can even handle it. I mean, it's more than just mixing music. It's your psychiatrist, psychologist, your event planner. You're basically the so the name is DJ. So I always tell people you're basically a lifeline of the party. Like, you can kill it, or you can revive it. You can slow it down. You could speed it up. You can do whatever, and you have the control.
You're the
I wonder, like, what would Paris Hilton do if a speaker went down? And then what would she do if she had an ethnic crowd? Would she change the music? Or what would she do if she had a crowd with a different age group? Would she change it then, or different culture background,
Usually,
something like that?
A lot of these DJs that you see on YouTube and things like that, they go in ready. It's almost like when we practice, when we used to practice in orchestra in the band. We already know what we're kind of doing. When I go to my events, honestly, my biggest secret is I have no clue what I'm gonna do. I really need to feel the crowd, because sometimes, Dan also knows, and I'm sure you know, that you'll go to an event and the bride and groom are like, oh, you got to play this, you got to play that, I really want to hear this, you got to play this, you got to play that. And you play one or two songs and you realize, and you look at them and you go, listen, this is not working. This is not why you hired me. You hired me because you trusted me how to run your event. It's like like telling a doctor how to do surgery. So
sometimes they pick the wrong songs out. They demand the DJ play them, and they're wrong, and it turns everybody off. Sometimes we prepare for hours and hours and hours and hours, and we did our homework to come to the party, only to find out that's not what's going to work. It's
Right.
something else that really works. But they told us they wanted that type of music, but it turns
And
out opposite.
the funniest part is me and Dan have been working for many years together, and Dan introduced me to, I mean, you learn from every single person you work with. I learned a lot from Dan. And also Dan saw what type of pressure I've had when he started to see the volume of people at weddings, things that are, I mean, I'm sure they do it in different areas too, but it's unheard of in New York. Like we had a wedding that was like 1,100 people, and Dan was like, you know, what is this? It looks like a coliseum, and I was like, nope, it's a wedding. It's a lot of fun. I mean, the more people, the better. It actually, believe it or not, it makes it easier when there's more people, because you can play around with everything more. When it's a specific type, like a house party, is much harder, much more difficult than a wedding, a bar bat mitzvah, an engagement, sweet 16, a communion, a whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Now, Emmanuel, what about during today's time?
So
okay, we got pandemic and things. What's happening? What's changed?
So people are a little bit more reserved right now, obviously because of the volume we're allowed to do. So I used to travel a lot. Dan's been with me once or twice also overseas. So that kind of stopped right now. Okay. And it's not because, I don't think it's because people aren't fond of what we do. I think it's more of people are a little scared to spend the amount of money that they used to be spending. And but I mean, for me personally, yeah, the volume changed. It went down a little bit, but it's not, I mean, there's still things going on. There's still other ways of entertaining that we do. There's still people that are looking for live musicians and different aspects of the entertainment or DJ world. Like you could be DJing and or playing or doing something in a different way. So let's say it's not a wedding. Now it's maybe like a drive-by party, you know, like we used to have, like a parade or whatever it is. So it's more exposed now. As people are getting vaccines, it's changing. You know, people are getting together more. But before, when it started, we were driving to people's houses, and my friend had a generator, and we had a trailer like behind us. And we were DJing outside as we were passing like a kid's house that just graduated, or a girl with a sweet 16, or any of these things. So it changed. The traveling changed a little bit, but I have no doubt it's gonna go back to how it was. I mean, people are so social, and this is what we do. And you know, we have a lot of pressure on us also, because people go to an event and want and look forward to enjoying it. One of the biggest blessings I think it is when you really make people happy, especially with music. It's one of the I mean, Dan, like, I don't even know how to describe it, Dan. Dan, how would you describe it? It's like one of the, it's very unique. I mean, me personally, I play every single type of music, every single language, from anywhere. But even if you don't know the words, if you're mixing it with things that people are familiar with, they kind of get blended into it, and they mesh with you. You become like a different type of artist.
Very big high doing what DJ Emanuel does, and myself too, because you're making them happy. You're bringing happy emotions out in them. And you're watching a lot of people change for the time when you're DJing, and you know you're doing something good, and you get a big high from it, definitely. And
yeah,
you command the audience, and
you got me wiggling around over here, man. I gotta hear a little something.
Listen, it's all about, you know, the first thing I want to tell you is it's never fake. If you're faking that you're having a good time at a wedding, people can see through that. I mean, if you're having fun, even if they're not digging the music or whatever it is, just the being creative of what you're putting in, when you're putting in, when you see grandma on the dance floor, or when you see, you know, something special going on, you gotta improvise, just like music. And that's what Dan's really good at. I mean, the first wedding I went to, I remember he turned around and he said to me, how many languages are you playing tonight? I mean, are people from like all over the world? I was like, no, this is the expectation. This is what they want. This is my niche. That's why they have us. You know, that's why they give us the opportunity to be there. And especially the biggest compliment is when people go back, and it's a small community where I am, and you start hearing from other people, you know, that, oh, I heard you were at a wedding last night, blah, blah, blah. It was amazing. Or my dad coming up to me and say, oh, I ran into this and this. He said you did great last night, you know? And listen, I don't think personally we do great all the time. Dan, would you say we great all the time? I think we do our best that we can. It also depends on the crowd. I mean, absolutely, it depends on the crowd. And also, what I do know is that we go in there and we really care about the event. Anything can happen at the event, and we know how to handle it. Anything. I mean, literally anything. It's not only about being able to play the music. Again, it's a lot of different quirks here and there, and things you need to change around, and people you need to make happy. And as you're working, you have a couple of chefs in the kitchen. So Dan knows what I mean by that.
Yeah, the chef
And
bosses us around. Yeah.
yeah. You know, you gotta kind of, it's
The
almost
chef is
like
the
being the
banquet
middleman.
manager.
You know, it's almost like being the middleman. It's almost like you're a coach, you know, like you're the guy in the middle, you know, you're kind of like coaching everybody around. And I don't know where I was going with this, but it's very unique experience, especially from like where I came from and how I learned from my father. I mean, right now, live music, we kind of, it's nothing really new, but the way I think that me and my I would say my crew, I think we're a little bit more creative because we are like real musicians. It's not like part-time, or we love doing what we do, and it doesn't matter. And even, I mean, Dan knows some events, they say 4 hours. It never ends up being 4 hours. It never does. You know, it ends up being like close to 6, you know, and it's a good feeling. It means people actually want you there. It's definitely, as much as they think we're doing it for them, it's fun for me personally. So I don't know how many people, you know, and you know, we made it we made a business out of it, which is very until today I will never forget this. I never thought, you know, I went to school, Dan knows, I went to school for medicine.
Went to medical school.
You know, it wasn't even this wasn't the plan. You know, this wasn't the plan, but you know, that's why there's a lot of things in there, you know.
Are you going to mix for us tonight and play that Arabic drum tonight?
I was gonna play it for Dan. I was gonna show him some stuff that I do, and a lot of
Play it for Tommy.
It's actually, huh?
Play it for Tommy.
Oh,
And
Tommy.
Play for the viewers, play
Yeah,
for the viewers, man.
Play for the
Tommy, I
viewers.
wanna
Yeah,
tell you
they're the
something.
most important.
I usually don't, but Dan, I wanted to show him. But just to give you an example, I'll give you a beat. Hold on one.
Yeah, for 30 seconds or a minute, whatever. If you have a track you want to play it to.
Dan was nice
cool
enough to make a couple of mixes for me. Okay. But we're gonna pretty much improvise for a second. Dan, could I play any track, or are they gonna like censor us if we play any track, or should I play our track?
If it's a Persian track, they probably won't censor that. It might not even be copyrighted. What do you think? or an Arabic track or something.
Yeah, maybe
some Israeli tracks are though.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. So Dan took the liberty of sending me some stuff, which he's
I only sent him a couple beats. That's it.
Only a couple, like 50 or whatever. He's very creative. And I'm gonna upload it real fast and see if I could share the screen so you guys can see what I'm actually playing. And Dan, you nailed it with some of these. These were cool. I like them.
Oh, cool.
Emanuel,
Dr. DJ has
let me ask
thousands
you
of songs.
something.
Yes, sir.
Do you are you going to be vaccinated? When you do these perform and go out here, are you?
You know what?
Do people ask? Do your
A lot. So when we were like, when COVID just started, and wedding time, summer was our biggest time. I mean, Dan also knows summertime is like our biggest time. And when people were calling us, we didn't even know how to handle it. Like, what do I like? When people tell me, "Hey, listen, I'm canceling my wedding," I'm like, okay. I didn't know what to say. And luckily I had musicians that were understanding, and we were actually really nice, and we refunded everything to everyone, even deposits, things like that. I mean, what happened is not something we can control. Nobody could have predicted it, and it was that time of the world, time where you had to think about everyone, not just yourself. And I was like, you know what, let's just give everybody money back, and hopefully the following year, hopefully everybody's going to be richer, and we're all going to spend even more and do more events. That was the positive vibe of it. But as far as vaccine, I think I will have to take it more for protection of my clients and people in the crowd. So I think that's a reason. For the responsibility reasons. Personal reasons, I did not want to take it, but you can't always do what you want. You also need to, go with the crowd.
Yeah, well, you're in a service-generated business.
Yeah,
so
we have to.
Sometimes you have to just be considerate of the clients, and that's
absolutely.
quite commendable of yourself, because not everybody is for the virus for the shot. Yeah,
listen,
but
you know what I say?
You're going to bat for the people.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. There was a little delay. Go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, I was saying it's nice that you're going to bat for the people. I'm sure that the people would appreciate that, because you're in a service-generated business, and it's quite important, I think, that that you're considerate of their welfare as well. And right now it's a lot of health at stake, and even the vaccination isn't guaranteed, but at least you're taking care of your due diligence in order to.
We're trying to do something. We're trying to do the best we can, so people feel comfortable and say, you know what, this guy, he's not going to be it's one less person I need to worry about at the event. Which people are under extreme pressure all the time at weddings. Dan knows that, and after years of experience, you kind of learn how to calm them down and joke with them and kind of relax them. Let me see if this works. Give me 1 second. We're going to try this. Okay. Do you guys still hear me or no?
Yep.
I hear you. Great. Fine.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So let's see what Dan put in the archive here. Hold on. Let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear it. You guys hear that?
Yes, I heard it pretty well.
Perfect. Okay, so here, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go with one of Dan's beats and just show you, I mean, the whole talent aspect of it. Again, I don't call it DJing because I mean, we came from a lifeline of musicians. My uncle is a drummer. My dad's a singer. I have cousins that are drummers. So it's like, it's in our blood. I just took it to the other level because I was changing with the time. Unfortunately today, not too many people are into the live music, and that's what my dad used to do for over 30 years. So I basically took you can say I took what he does and I just moved it to digital. So
now, are you with a radio station as well, Emanuel?
Which one?
Are you with a radio station as well?
So we used to have an international radio station, and we had an international like community, like TV network that I was with at night times. But there wasn't too much, I feel like there wasn't too much action. People liked things that were actually kind of finished and like on Facebook or something like that, on YouTube, or rather these things. So live, it didn't really work as much. A lot of people were just tuning into things that were already pre-recorded and playing it. So not too much. Not. I mean, early in the days, yeah. But now It's more like actually being in front of people, which is much more rewarding, you know, things like that. So just to give you an example, so let's say I'm just gonna make it simple. So this way we can see how it kind of works. So I'll give you one example.
Yeah, you might want to put the camera down a little bit so we can
Yeah.
see that drum, or put the drum upwards, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, so
Cool.
let's see. I'm gonna try it this way. And should I go with you know what? I'll just go with should I loop a beat, Dan? Does that work?
Sure, loop a bead, you can repeat it, and the
Okay.
action is going to be with the drum.
Okay, so let's do that. So let me just run so one thing I was gonna describe is there's many DJs use many different things, many different softwares. There's not one that's better than the rest. It's whatever you're comfortable with, you know. So
Yeah, Logic and
I mean, there's so many different websites.
Ableton.
Yeah, Ableton, and but just to show, let's just loop a beat for a second, okay? Just let me know if you guys hear it good, and then you know, kind of play around. And which is funny because in front of people I'm not shy, but in front of you guys for some reason right now.
Oh, it's all one big family.
Yeah, I
Small
got
family.
you.
Yeah, if you can make that louder, make it louder.
Yeah. So, you guys hear it?
Kind of muddy.
Yeah. Hold on. You know what? What if I share my screen with you guys? Would that work? Would it sound better? You think? Let's see. Oh, the sound you say was muddy?
Yeah, I don't know if it's too far away or too close.
No highs. Oh, tell me if now it's better.
Let's see. No, that one didn't do it.
Good.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna start it.
My microphone's cutting it off. I'm gonna put myself on mute so I don't mask your sound.
Got you.
Maybe you might want to make yours louder if you can.
Yeah,
Try that. I'm gonna mute my sound right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna play it. Tommy's there. We see him. Okay.
Yep.
With us. Okay. Here we go. All right. So here's just any beat. Okay. So I basically take all the songs. I don't play myself, but just to show you that, you know, we do play. I just take any of the songs that we usually use. So in this case, it's just going to be an American song and show you how we put like a Middle Eastern twist to it. And that's the biggest thing that's kind of going on. This percussion thing has blown up ever since, you know, I guess it would be ever since a lot of people went digital and it just became better. So let's see if I can get the beat. And my new thing is I'm actually going to play percussion as I'm DJing. That we're working on that. And Dan and I are working on that. So, you know, bring another idea out there. Okay. So Dan, let's do. You guys ready? Let's do. Here we go. There we go. All right. Sorry. Is okay. Let me know if you guys hear it okay on your end. You hear it on your end, Tommy?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
So watch.
Yeah. It muted back. It muted back down, Dan. I don't know if it's gonna pick up.
Yeah, muted back down.
And I got a message from Victor that we're 10 minutes beyond.
Okay. So maybe we'll have Emanuel on the personal channel and have some fun.
Yeah. So Dan, you have any other last question for me?
I want to know, we're 10 minutes beyond. I don't want to use Tommy's time. He went 10 minutes beyond the time. I have a lot of questions for you, and I'm going to ask them on Tommy's personal channel. If he allows you to be on the personal channel, that could be a lot of fun. If you would be willing to come.
But Tommy, again, sorry we went 10 minutes over. We just
No problem. You know,
on this
and we'll
stuff.
do some sound checks and things. You know, I'd love to have you on another time. We'll try
Appreciate
to, get some things together and
Appreciate
figure out how to, give them samples and stuff like that, man. It sounds like, I mean, I've listened to what you're saying in terms of the Middle East twist. And I've actually, I could definitely groove to some Middle Eastern music, actually. I've heard it at different parties that I've been to with my wife. And it's very nice. And I see what you're saying as well, as in terms of when you mix and bring American songs and mix different things, it's like you could have people dancing and even singing and humming and going home with the Middle Eastern music, and they might be, from the 80s with the disco, and it's like, what am I singing right here? What is this? But I see it, man. You guys are like, you're definitely gurus of your field. I think it's very commendable. I think, stepping away and, having parents who definitely, and it's old school. You look young, man, but I don't know, young fella, I guess. I'm, in my 50s.
I'm in my late 30s.
Yeah, you're doing great. I think that the world
love it.
definitely...
There's a lot of, you should see the DJs. I just Googled the other day the oldest DJ in the world, which was actually very interesting. It's an Asian lady. So you're never too old. You're never too old to do this.
Yeah, well, I think that the world is definitely a better place because of what you're doing, man. I mean, I've learned, along my way, just appreciating all genres of music, and then reconnecting with Danny, and now doing this platform here and having the opportunity to meet different musicians and stuff like that. I think that it's very impactful. And it's like I'm definitely connected with what you're out there achieving and doing, man. And I wish you all the best.
We have to invite you to come out and crash an event next time. And
definitely, man. For it. That sounds fantastic. Well, look, we'll stay in touch, and then thank you. You're definitely a friend of the show. We'll definitely have you on again.
Thank you for the opportunity. So much for your time. And everybody, be safe and always enjoy the music.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. You take care. God bless.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Thanks, Tommy.
Okay, thank you very much, folks, for coming on. This is episode number 20, and we've had our guest, Tony Pearson, came on and spoke about what he does. Fantastic gentleman out of Tampa, Florida. And he has a great LLC going on. He's all about that technology. He left some information in the Dropbox. So hopefully you all can reach out to him for all your consulting needs in terms of technology. And we just had Emanuel on, Dr. Emanuel, and he came on and left us with a whole big world of music. Now we've had musicians on, and now we've had somebody come on with DJing as well as a hybrid. He's a DJ and musician. And I think that was fantastic, folks. I really feel good about this show. I feel like, the world is coming back together. We're starting to connect and reconnect and build. And thank you very much for my co-host on this mission, Danny Rock.
You're welcome.
And I hope you all have enjoyed the show. Danny, you want to close it out?
Yeah, I just want to thank both guests, but the last guest who I knew, Dr. DJ Emmanuel. And thanks, Tommy, for having me on your wonderful show. And I look forward to lots more. And let's also get together on your personal channel.
Certainly we will. Thank you very much, Danny. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And those people who do care to watch, you can catch me on the YouTube channel, Tommy Williams YouTube channel. And we're Positive Vibes are what we stand for, folks. So you all take care. God bless. And thanks for watching episode number 20, Tommy Williams Show. Thank you. Take care. All right. Thanks, Victor.
All right.
No problem. See you next week, Tommy.
All right. Thank you very much. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
No problem.
Okay.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.